fans. With us today, he is the lead sponsor of the E's and B's podcast. He is the baddest gear shifting, wheelie riding, BMF 4 War in the Woods 13 champion. Coming to us from Greenville, Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Dustin Shelton. How's it going, my man?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Obviously, as you can hear, the voice still a little raspy from last weekend's madness down there at Brown County in Indiana as we attended War in the Woods 13. And I'm telling you what, folks, if you can see his face, and hopefully you will on the YouTube version, it's smiling from ear to ear because today we have brought in our lead sponsor. That's right. Proud sponsor of the E's and B's podcast, Major Performance and Dyno. Check him out at 1219 Snaps Ferry Road, Greenville, Tennessee, for all your no prep bike needs. That's Dustin Shelton and Major Performance and Dyno. But folks, why we brought him in today is, well, I'm sure you've seen my post, you've seen his post, and you heard all the talk. That's right. It's now time to go through what went down last weekend. BMF 4, that's right, the fourth time the Birdman bikes have made their appearance at the baddest outlaw track in the world, Brown County Dragway down there in Indiana. Shout out to Jeff Thomas, Julie Randall, and the crew for allowing us to come in there and have one of the best weekends. And as we say, each and every time we leave that place, that was the best War in the Woods we've been to yet. That's right, folks. We're bringing in Dustin Shelton right here, proud sponsor of the E's and B's, and we're going to talk about how things went down last weekend. And, of course, you know, if you don't know, my man took the bag home. That's right, winning just the biggest race he's ever been in. That's right, as he won BMF 4 last weekend. Dustin, how about this? Tell my fans and listeners out there kind of the lead up of what was going on maybe a couple weeks prior or even a few days prior to this big race last weekend.
And honestly, this race was a struggle all around. Being on medical leave for 6 weeks, and we know I'm the only one at the shop, so nothing was getting done. And then getting parts. Luckily, Dustin Lee at Hard Times Parts and Service is pretty close to me. He let me come down and grab everything I needed. So big shout out to him. Um, got all that took care of pretty much last minute. But over the weekend when I was getting stuff ready, just went to do some maintenance stuff, plugs, oil changes stuff. Broke plugs off in the head, ended up having to take the cams, head, everything out. It was a struggle. Finally got it took care of and got it all back together the day before we left, I think. Got the motor back together, I think Monday, got it back in the bike Tuesday and left Wednesday or something like that. It was
crunch time. And folks,
it was, yeah.
You know,
Didn't get to do no kind of testing. Yeah, didn't get to do no kind of testing with the motor, but getting it back in, only thing we got to do is fire it up, put it on a two-step, and put it in a trailer and head out.
and as folks, as you know, Dustin and I, being friends and obviously helping each other out, sponsoring and stuff, we were in contact, and we've been in contact since basically when we met. But this time, this go around, I'll say on my end, I felt for you. You know, obviously I'm 18, 20 hours away from you out here in Colorado. And of course, we're going to be meeting at the racetrack there in Indiana, which is, 7-8 hours away from where you're at. A lot of things can happen in between that. But, leading up to that weekend, I just kept getting these text messages like, need a tire, not sure what's going to happen. Not sure who's coming with me. And then next thing I know, I get a picture of a spark plug broken off in the head of the motor that he's about to be racing in less than, 5 days. So I definitely was feeling the stress, from my end, obviously not even my bike, but yet I was feeling for you But as we've always said, as we've always done, the strong survive, the cream rises to the top. And we went into that weekend with the confidence, even knowing what we had overcome. And yet, Dustin himself, this man packed a whole entire camper, a race bike, a 55-gallon thing of fuel. You name it. This man packed it all and drove himself from Greenville, Tennessee, all the way to Bloomington, Nashville, Indiana, to put everything he had on the line to get a little bit of redemption. Now, if you don't know, coming out of the spring, my man Dustin had an outstanding appearance there at War in the Woods BMF 3. But in the end, some things didn't go our way. We bit that bullet, and we knew coming back here in the fall, there was nothing that was going to stop us, nothing that was going to overcome us. And Dustin went out there each and every round and proved everyone wrong, rode that bike, rode the wheels off of it. And like I said in my opening, he is the only man I know that can ride a wheelie and switch gears and still gap that ass. Dustin, tell us what your mindset was going into round one Friday night.
If we get through this round, it's a wrap.
Nice. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. That's the confidence that you have to have when you come to one of Birdman's races, being knowing that there's 30 bikes, or 29 other racers that you're about to go up against. And on top of that, 3 champions that's already won this race. So no easy duck competition. We're talking all good riders. Dustin comes out round one, maybe a little not what he wanted, but we got the job done, and we knew what we were in store for the rest of the rounds going forward. Now, Ryan and everybody out there got the big boost because Limpy shut him down. We had, a lot of other things going on that could have distracted myself and everything from what we were trying to accomplish. But I got to say, I really, really, as a sponsor, a friend, and everything, took this serious. And I told you before we got going, I'm going to put you in the best spot I could put you in, no matter what lane we're in. And I was down on the line, shout out to the warden, helping her out with the tire crack. But I wasn't just doing the tire crack, folks. I was out there studying what lane my man Dustin was going to be in, because I know last spring I picked a spot, had a little help from Low Dollar Motorsports, shout out to them, but got him in a spot that made him win a round that probably would have never won if we were not done that homework. Now, going into the fall, I was prepared and I felt very confident, but yet I still needed a little bit of maybe backing, I should say. So shout out to Jim Teague and, of course, my man Chuck Be Humble, who gave me a little extra confidence there a couple rounds when I asked him, about my spot. But I got to say, going into Saturday, Dustin, I'm with you. I was ready to get the party started and ready to move into the big money rounds. How about you?
Absolutely. I was ready. I was so pumped, and I don't know. It was just different. Everything about it was different. I felt different about everything, and I don't know.
Let me ask you one question here. Now that it's all said and done, looking back on it right now, what was probably your favorite moment of the weekend
Oh my
besides
gosh.
winning?
Oh my goodness, man. The whole weekend was absolutely, I mean, from the time I got there Wednesday evening with your uncle and Pops and Limpy and Patrick, it was just the greatest time all the way until we left Sunday, man. It's so hard to pick out a favorite moment. Out as far as the race, the event, always the best is coming back down the return road.
Yeah.
They about, bro, when I did that wheelie, those 2 wheelies, big wheelies in the first round, bro, they about knocked me off the bike, giving me high fives and throwing shit at me. And I was like, dude, I don't even drink.
That's
Throw me
awesome. I for next time around, we need a GoPro for that. If we get that opportunity again, we know there's some story about the return road might change, yada yada. But if it doesn't, because that is the staple, in my opinion, for most of those fans coming to that track, is because they know they can not only see some badass racing, whether it's cars or badass bikes, but they're going to be able to see these drivers, win or lose, come back to their pits. And that's kind of the thing that I think is a staple of what brings most of those fans to that big race. Dustin, I know this. There was one point in the night where I saw maybe not fear, maybe not scared, maybe not any kind of thing like that, but I did see a little bit of confusion when we were getting closer towards the end.
In
Do
the
you think
semis.
that
I probably know what you're talking about in the semis.
Yeah. Do you think any of that maybe could have affected the outcome going the other way?
I don't know, man. It almost messed us up because it was Nathan Hollingsworth in the semifinals. Dude's badass at what he does. He's got a badass bike. He tunes all Port Tech bikes. I knew we couldn't take him lightly. I wasn't even the first round. I had the bike a little spicy, but in the semis, it wasn't all that.
Right.
And I actually normally I tune my bike after the first round. Logan Ring, big shout out to him. I started sending him the files, and he's after the first round, he was like, "Man, you got this thing aggressive." He said, "We got to calm it down." We did. It got us through. I texted him in or he sent me the file back in the semis. I loaded it in the bike. We were sitting there waiting forever, and that's when you're talking about you could start seeing me. And I message him and I'm like, but man, I'd rather have too much is not enough. And he was like, this is what saved the day was him saying, it's my word, you have enough in that bike to cover any bike on the property right now.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, I just gotta trust the process. And finally I calmed myself down a little bit and just went
It
out there and
worked.
let
It
it
worked
eat.
out. It was it played out how it was supposed to play out. We've said that a couple of times. Even the hiccups. Let's go. I forgot something. Let's go back to Wednesday when you showed up and you don't even have
Generator
power.
stopped working.
You don't even
I
have
had
power.
power. Yeah, we got everything unloaded. I had just got my generator out of the shop from Gangster's Paradise when it stopped working, and Bill Hoskinson let me borrow his.
Yeah.
So we get up here and it runs for like 30 minutes, and then I see everything shut off from standing there. I think I was talking to your Uncle Brett, and I was like, oh no. And he was like, what? And I was like, I just lost power. And I walked, the generator was still running.
Yeah.
So went around there and we started testing stuff, and MacGyver Patrick was over there testing stuff on it and everything. It did the same thing, evidently, that it did at Gangster's Paradise. It still runs. It just don't put no power out. So luckily, your uncle drove, I don't even know how far, an hour and a half
About an
or
hour
something
and
like
about an hour
that.
and 15 minutes or so.
Something like that, just to grab a
Not much.
generator. And
Yeah, shout
oh
out to
man,
my cousin Clayton and obviously the safety head member there, Uncle B, for coming through there on Wednesday because that could have made things a lot rougher for you guys. And I know we would have got through it, overcome it, all those good sayings. But
somehow, but man, they made it just so I mean, just instantly for me going into panic mode to instantly, he was like, "Man, my son's got one. I'll go get it right now." And I
yep.
was just like, "No way."
And that's what I tell Jeff and Julie. That's why the E's and B's podcast comes to the War in the Woods, not only just for the family atmosphere to see our friends and do that, but we're there to help. And we're always there to help Jeff, Julie, and the crew anytime, any place. Let me ask you this,
Absolutely.
Dustin, before we get things almost wrapping up here. How interesting was this? Something I didn't see. I'm sure Birdman didn't see, but first round, new flagger. What'd you think of that? Do you even remember? Limpy flagged first round.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
to
yeah.
my knowledge, Limpy did not know until about 2 minutes to
He did.
go. And
He
no
didn't.
big
And
deal.
right.
He did a great job, but I just thought it was kind of cool that not only did we win a badass race, you got to be flagged by the two of the best ever
You
in
can
the
ask
same
Limpy.
race.
You can ask Limpy right before the bikes went, and I walked up there. Well, no, we had just came down. but I think there was still a few cars left. It took a little bit. But I walked up to Limpy and I was like, well, I guess I get my picture on the back tire beside you now.
Yep.
And I was really just joking. And he was like, are you for real going to? And I was like, watch this.
Yep.
And I was really just joking. And
Yeah.
it did it. And I was like, oh my God.
There's one thing, folks, I know about Dustin. When he talks Willies, Willies are going to happen whether he wants them to or he don't want them to. That's just what I've known of late. All right, man. How about this? I got to get some fun ones here. I know the fans want to know. I want to know, even though I was there. I want to hear it again. What was the first thing that crossed your mind when you were called BMF number 4 winner?
We did it. It all came together just like we planned. And that's all it took was all of us to just come together like we did, man. And I was just like, I don't know. We did it. We finally did it.
Yep.
Took 4 times, but we did it.
But we've learned each time, and we learned this time again. And I just think that a team like we've got that has each other's back, that will go the extra mile, and obviously on your end put in the tremendous amount of work, the hard long hours, all the big money that you don't want to end up spending. This is what it pays off for in the end. Time with the No Prep family, winning one of the baddest races of the year, and then in the end, you're setting yourself up for back to back champions coming up in spring. And we're going to come out swinging. I know the other riders will as well. And it's going to be an exciting, very good time. I know this. The fans out here want to know what is next for this badass bike, Ozilla.
We're trying everything we can to make it happen. We got the last points race coming up Friday when this podcast will be coming out. So we're trying to make it up there. Our goal the first of the year when we decided we wanted to run the whole series was to finish in the top 5 or 6. We can go to this race and get 5. If we go a few rounds, but we've got a little bit of a setback going on. I'm probably going to have to go to the doctor. I told you up there on the back of the truck, and I didn't tell my wife, and I kind of just told her yesterday, and she kind of looked at things there, and I think we need to go back to the doctor. We're trying to give it a day or two to see, but we did just a little bit of damage from the previous surgery, so. I think it's where I slammed down on that wheelie and it kind of spread my legs apart when I slammed it down. But
I totally understand.
But other than that,
hey, in the end, it was worth it.
It was worth it. But if we don't make it Friday, we're going to try everything we bet we can to. But if we don't make it Friday, I think the next big race will be the $20,000 race.
There you have it, folks. Make sure you guys are checking out Birdman Productions for all the info on those big races. And of course, you always can check out everything here at theeasyandbees.org. But Dustin, before we get out of here, close this thing up, you, myself, we've got a lot of thinking to do, a lot of shouting out to do. True. I am going to start it off first, and I'm going to run through, obviously, shout out to my pops, my Uncle B, holding it down there, getting us the spot like they always do. War in the Woods 13. It was an amazing time, but it wouldn't have been without the people in Jeff, Julie, Kinsey, Happy, Limpy, the Warden, Billy, Jamie, Chris, everyone that helps out, that makes that race what it is, the ladies that sell the shirts and the beer, from all the vendors, from everyone that's helping parking, to my badass other sponsor, Jasper Graham and his crew. I'm telling you what, folks, I say it every time, every year, twice a year here on the E's and B's. It is the baddest race on the No Prep world. And you cannot miss out on it if you're talking to be a No Prep fan. It happens twice a year. Make sure you mark it down next year on your calendars, May 29th and 30th. And then in fall, once again, my boy Limpy's birthday, September 18th and 19th. So, like I said, shout out to our sponsors, Major Performance and Dyno, the GOAT, the baddest man on the light, Limpy himself, and of course, the baddest man behind the wheel, driver of Downgrade, driver of Optimus Primer, Mr. Jasper Graham. With that, folks, I'm going to turn it right on over here to my lead sponsor, Dustin. Take it away, my man.
Don't forget the spring one's my birthday.
I'm not
Oh
smoking
my gosh,
40.
man.
I'm not smoking 43 joints. Telling you,
Man,
however many.
42.
Nope.
Limpy, be ready.
Yeah, yep.
Oh my gosh, man, there's so many people to thank. Julie, Charles, everything they did was just amazing as far as getting us in, all of us together. Um, Jeff, Jennifer, all their staff that put on that whole event, that's just in freaking insane. I couldn't even imagine doing what they have to do. Birdman, happy Kenzie for even getting the box in the place, trusting us to do what we do. Uncle Brett, Pops, Clayton, everybody did so much the whole time we were there, man. I could never thank them enough. And those videos he got with that drone is just insane.
Yep.
Of course, all my sponsors, Ease and Beast Podcast, 660 TV, Sticky Icky, Kaiser Boulevard, and Double D Tire and Battery does so much for this program. If it wasn't for them, I don't even know how we'd do it. My wife holds it down. She supports this stuff more than I do. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even be thinking about doing it either. So, man, so many people. Limpy, Patrick, Big Sting,
Yeah, Big
Youngblood,
Stank. What up, Big
Big
Stank?
Sting. Hey, everybody, man. Jasper, you don't even know how much Jasper's just little pep talks. Every time we would come down to the lane and we would get to Jasper's pit and he would just walk out and he would
Best.
come out and be like, do this, or did you do this, or you got this, don't worry about it, just run your race or whatever. And helped so much, man. And then, of course, Pap and Richard and Sam for everything they
Hell
did,
yeah.
helping me get the motor back together. Sam for being there. Dusty and Dennis for helping everything that they did. You know, Dennis was helping get the box
Yeah,
started
help
and
get the
getting me
bike
back and
back. My
forth to
man
the
always helped me
pits.
out. Yeah.
Man, gosh almighty, dude, I
You
could
hear it,
go on
folks.
for
It takes an
days.
army, but when you have a great team like Dustin does, great things happen. And we've
Even the
seen it with the,
kids,
oh, yeah.
even the kids, man. Major was out there just,
Hey, only
what?
kid I know that gets woken up at 4:20 in the morning and comes down to get some pictures with his dad in a winter circle. Kind of freaking cool, in my opinion.
And was geeked after that road would not lay back down. His
Would
mama told
you?
him to go back to bed, and it was like,
Man,
no,
man. I
no.
had to fly out and I couldn't sleep, dude. I
And
mean, I'm
then
telling you what, it was an amazing time. It was
and
everything that
even
we asked
Sam's
for.
kid, Sam's little boy, man, he was out there. You know how dusty it was out there, man.
Right.
Like the best tasting dust you're ever gonna taste only comes from war in the woods. But man, the kids was out there keeping the bike clean. Abby was out there keeping the bike clean. It was just,
Yeah.
it was an army. It
Man,
took an
like I said,
army,
it
and
was
we
well
won
worth.
that war.
Yep, that's right. We held it down. We did the job. You rode the bike and showed them all who you are. Putting yourself now as the fourth person ever to win BMF at at Brown County Dragway, War in
So
the Woods. That's right.
that
Not
bad bitch
there's
right
only three other
there.
people can say that right now, and I know this. One of us is gonna see a two-time winner eventually, and I hope it's us coming up there in the spring. With that, folks, I thank you today for coming in. Make sure you guys are checking out Major Performance and Dyno, 1219 Snaps Ferry Road, Greenville, Tennessee. Make sure you check out Dustin Shelton and Major Performance on all the social media outlets. Make sure you guys go give us a like, share, and follow us at easeandbees.org. And once again, driver of the baddest man on two wheels, the Willie grabbing, gear switching, BMF, winner number 4, and War in the Woods 13, champion, Dustin Shelton. Thanks, my man.
Sir.